Welcome back to video 2. We're going to be looking at some different components of the First Amendment today, focusing on freedom of religion and freedom of speech. So first of all, freedom of religion. In the Constitution, in the First Amendment, you are given the freedom of religion. Now, the section that deals with freedom of religion, it actually has two different parts. The first part is called the Establishment Clause, and this is the part that prevents Congress from establishing a national religion or from forcing citizens to practice a specific religion over a different one, okay? The next part of it is called the Free Exercise Clause, and this clause focuses specifically on whether or not the government can prevent you from practicing your religion, okay? Spoiler alert, they can't, unless your freedom to exercise your religion infringes on someone else's right to, be alive. Okay? So those are the two parts of the freedom of religion section in the First Amendment. Moving over then to freedom of speech. And this one, as you learned from your vocabulary activity, has a whole bunch of different components. So whenever we think of speech, typically we think of something that I'm doing right now. I'm talking to you. That's called pure speech. So pure speech is that spoken expression of thought or opinion. So if you're talking to your friends in the hallway, that's pure speech. Okay? You also have symbolic speech. Sometimes this is called expressive speech, or another way to describe it would be basically like you wearing a shirt that says something on it, okay? Or me holding a coffee cup. By me holding a coffee cup, what does that say about me? That says I need coffee to survive. Right? So that's an example of symbolic speech. I could walk around with my coffee cup, drinking my coffee, or you could read whatever is on my coffee cup, and you could get an idea of what I support or what I believe based on what I'm wearing or how I'm carrying myself without me saying anything at all. That's symbolic speech. Okay. We also have some speech that is actually not protected by the First Amendment. And the first one that is not protected is called defamatory speech. So if you are attempting to defame someone or to talk bad about them, to ruin their reputation or to make them look bad or spreading false information about them, that's defamatory speech. And that's not like a protected speech in the First Amendment, okay? There are two types of defamatory speech, and those two are slander and libel. So slander is spoken speech. So if you go around talking about, this person did this, and this, and none of it's true, and your job or your goal is just to make them look bad, then that's slander. That's not protected by the First Amendment, okay? The other type of defamatory speech is libel. And libel is written defamatory speech, okay? So things like you're posting something on social media, or you're writing a letter to the editor of a newspaper in which you just totally make up lies and false statements about someone. That's libel, and that is also not protected by the First Amendment, okay? So don't do that. Next, we have seditious speech. Now, seditious speech is a little different. If you are seditious in what you're saying, you are basically trying to inflict, not necessarily harm, but you're trying to overthrow something, okay? So you're trying to maybe attack the government or something like that. And if your seditious speech seditious speech can basically lead to violence in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so the Supreme Court has used a few different doctrines or tests to figure out if speech is seditious or if it's not seditious. So the first one is called the clear and present danger doctrine. So if the speech in question, so if whatever you say presents what's known as a clear and present danger, then that speech is not protected. So an example would be going and yelling like fire in a crowded theater. That presents a clear and present danger that could potentially harm other people. So that wouldn't be protected, okay? Another one is bad tendency. So if your speech has a tendency to lead to illegal action or violent overthrow of something, then it's also not protected. And the last part, we can get that to go away. There we go. The Supreme Court has said that of all of the rights listed in the Constitution, the First Amendment's freedom of speech has a preferred position. So if there's ever a question dealing with whether or not speech is protected, it's almost always going to be, unless it falls under one of these categories. If you have any questions, let me